All right, man. What's up, man? Another video for you, and this one's gonna be Saints because we got the Saints. They got a game Sunday. So let's listen to what Kellen Moore had to say. So we'll do the kind of same thing that we did. Let's see. Gotta get the screen up and running here. There we go. Alrighty.
All right, guys. Good weekend for our players. The chance for them to kind of get away. Obviously, a number of them saw their college teams. It's always the fun part of this weekend. Some wins, some losses in there, but a lot of good stuff for everyone. And so, roster-wise, we had some challenging things to navigate. The last 24 hours. We released JT Gray, which was
Yeah, JT Gray's been here for a long time. That was a little surprising. He's been a really good special teams player for us for a number of years.
One of the hardest things so far in this year. And so that was a really challenging move. He's a really good special teams player. He's a really good player. He's done a lot of good things here. And it was a really, really challenging decision that we had to make. And then we did sign Keziah Izzard to practice squad. He came from Kansas City. He's defensive tackle. He did training camp with them. He did some awesome stuff in preseason. We evaluated him. And so, just as we continue to navigate some of the roster moves, there's obviously challenging things that come up. And so, we're excited for this week, though. We're excited to get into this thing. The guys were in today. We were able to get some really good field work in. They went weight room, went into some field work where it's really almost like a phase 2 day, like in the off-season programs. We were able to get a bunch of field work done, throwing individual drills, get into a little bit of a walkthrough, and put them in position to be ready to roll on Wednesday. So I'll open up to any questions.
What's the challenge with how Arizona uses their safeties and the way they rotate and all that?
There's a ton of flexibility within their structure, and it's really challenging because some of it feels like it's according to rules, and some of it kind of feels like it breaks rules at times. And Jonathan and those guys have done an awesome job just developing a really, really innovative system that really stresses you from an offensive perspective. They have a lot of pieces that can play a number of different roles, and so there's some gray. I'd like to say there's a lot of gray within it, which can be challenging from an offense perspective. We're going to put a lot of time and effort into preparing this week.
Releasing JT Gray, was it because you needed depth in other spots in the roster?
A lot of this comes down to the roster flexibility, and that's the challenging part of it. We know the high quality player that he is, the impact he's had on.
Yeah, we only have 53 players. Sometimes it's tough, and you got to make tough decisions and let somebody go that normally you really love to keep. So it's tough with the limited roster in the NFL.
In this organization, he's a really good player. Just with the roster as you kind of play the roster management part of this thing over the course of this season and throughout the next few weeks, there's a lot of challenges associated with that, and so it was a really tough one for us to do.
Practice squad spot, or?
We haven't gone that road. I mean, I would imagine JT's going to have some opportunities really, really fast, and so I'd be surprised if that opportunity presented for our own sake. Obviously, he's a really good player.
Is there somebody that y'all are planning to call up from your practice squad to his spot?
We're kind of in the moving a few pieces around, and so obviously we'll probably make some corresponding moves. And I think part of this is just there's a lot of moves that you kind of have to navigate the first few weeks of the season, and we have some guys on PUP and some guys on IR that certainly we anticipate eventually being a part of this thing. And so you got to have the roster flexibility just to navigate all these moving pieces.
Earlier this summer, have any plays that at all?
No, I don't think so. I mean, obviously the challenge associated with that was just the limited exposure through training camp. He wasn't able to do a whole lot, unfortunately. And so, he's healthy now, and obviously, he's a really good player.
I feel like you saw enough throughout training camp in the preseason to kind of know who's taking his place on those gunner spots.
Yeah, there's a few guys who obviously have done some reps in preseason and then throughout training camp as well. There's a number of guys who've done it as well, and so. It's a big time opportunity. I mean, we need guys to step up in those roles. That's going to be a huge critical aspect of it for teams from a special teams perspective for us. And so, we got some big time opportunities for those guys.
Tom, that penny front, like you guys use it, they use some of it. Like, how does that stress out an offense? Like, what does that present?
Everyone's covered up. By rule, it starts as a bunch of one-on-one blocks, and then all the moving pieces that they can add to it. They can move the front, stem the front. What's unique to them is their ability to pressure from the secondary level. Boot obviously is an incredible player, and his versatility is really second to none in this league. Just his ability to play from a post safety position and really get to so many other threatening positions. And so, it's a really good challenge for us this week.
Everything, like, are they unique in their ability to kind of hide like a lot?
I just think that they do a really good job. I think this is one of the more creative defenses in our league, just as far as the multiplicity. And, more importantly, this is week one. Every week one, there's going to be an element of unscouted looks and unknown. Everyone's had an entire offseason to put together a new plan. There's going to be some things that are unique that we have not seen. And that's.
Yeah, man, I'm really hoping that the Saints actually play well this week one. Spencer Rattler has had a tough go at it starting last year. I know our roster really wasn't good last year, especially receiving core and offensive line. So hopefully he can play really well this coming Sunday. But it's gonna be tough, man. Saints are very I think Arizona's more talented than we are, but as I said, there's any given Sunday.
It's part of week one in general. Then you cap on to it that we're playing these guys. It'll stress us out. A healthy dose.
Like your game plan specific to this week's opponent, like how much input do you allow your quarterbacks in that to say, I like this play, I don't like that play so much?
I think it becomes more and more prominent as the week goes on. Early in the week, once you get into the flow of this thing, we'll have our conversations early in the week, just debriefing the previous game, kind of eyes forward to the next one. We'll build the plans out, and I think as the quarterbacks see the plans, you have more and more healthy discussions of things they like, things they want to have more discussion on, and ultimately towards the end of the week, we get into a really narrowed focus as far as what we're going to do on Sunday.
Does it present with the amount of change they have when it comes to the defensive front, the new talent they added themselves?
Yeah, you're watching film of last year. Obviously, you have a little bit of exposure in preseason, but it's very minimal. There's a healthy dose of element of unknown week one. And obviously, I think on our side, we have a little bit element of unknown. And so that's what week ones are. It's really the first 3 weeks of the season. Everyone's got a lot of unknown factors. And so it's kind of, you got to play really clean football the first few weeks of the season. You got to really focus on the fundamentals, trust your rules. There's going to be, unfortunately, some mistakes, and you got to play really clean football and give yourself a chance.
What have you noticed from Spencer and the way he reacts to unscouted looks? Is there anything that suits him well for this matchup?
I think he's able to process things, and if it's not clean, he's able to make a really quick alternative decision. And I think that's what we've seen throughout this entire offseason. His ability to make really good decisions, whether it be with his feet or with, just finding an outlet, finding a check down. I thought he had some really good ones that showed up in the preseason games where, he's looking one way and he realized that maybe I should have gone the other way. He finds the check down. He finds, Kendra over the ball, completion, and it's another first down. And we just keep on moving. I think that's the big part of playing quarterback is, you're going to make a mistake. They're going to disguise something, and something's going to look a little different after the snap. And so you just got to react to it.
I know this entire offseason has been building to this, but for you, this being your first regular season game as the head coach, does now being in game week come with any extra jitters or extra excitement now that it's a few days away?
I think we're all excited. We're all excited that this is ultimately what you do this whole offseason program to build up to the opportunity to play in regular season games. These are the ones you want. I thought our guys have done a really good job. I think our guys are in a really good space, mentally, physically. They're ready to roll. And so, part of the challenge of week one is it's still a full week of preparation. We got a lot of stuff we're going to be covering over the next, however many 5-6 days. And so leading up to the Sunday. And so you can't get to Sunday too fast. You got to go through this process, and we'll get there. And we'll be excited for it when Sunday rolls around. We're at the Dome.
How has your role changed? Just like it being a head coach, are you watching the offense of the other team now? What's changed for you?
Yeah. I think there's obviously other aspects of this thing that I'm excited about. That'll be a fun process for us to find our groove and find our routine, and it'll be fun to do all those.
I know we've asked you a lot about this throughout the offseason, but today was another day you could have gone full bonus practice versus walkthrough. I mean, what are the benefits to not maximizing every practice opportunity?
Yeah, We got just about what a normal red day with a helmet on would be, which was those quicker practices in training camp. I mean, we were a few minutes short of that. Other than that, it's not far off. We were able to hit some individual, hit some team setting walkthrough portion of it, and so that allowed us to get our guys kind of acclimated and get them ready to go. So Wednesday can be a really solid Wednesday and put them in position. And so part of that was get them enough work and get them ready to go, but also put them in position so we can have a more traditional week coming off of the weekend.
Like any of the injured guys, specifically Wanda Taylor or Trevor Penning, to practice this week?
I think there's a chance for a couple of those guys. Yeah. I think today was a really good work day for those guys. It's really about how do they recover tomorrow, see how that, and put a plan together starting on Wednesday. So I would imagine you'll see, a guy or two out there.
Yeah, hopefully we get some of our Penning back on the offensive line. So it'll be interesting to see when the injury reports come out, Wednesday and Thursday. Let's see if he was limited, if he was a full go. But Saints need all the offensive linemen that they can get in on the field, because our offensive line was on the weak points last season, and there's times in the game and sometimes in preseason where they didn't play well. So we'll see. We'll see.
With the red, green, yellow days, once you get into a regular season schedule, like how flexible is that as opposed to what y'all did in training camp?
Yeah, it'll be pretty consistent. Our weeks will flow pretty well and be pretty consistent as far as what Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looks like. Again, we're on obviously a routine where we're going to be playing every Sunday, so we don't have the short weeks or the long weeks or anything in between. So I feel like we'll be able to get into a really good routine, and we'll see how the season goes.
You got a lot of praise for his preseason performances. How do you expect his role to, I guess, increase as he kind of settles in regular season?
Yeah, who was that again? Kelvin. Oh, awesome. Kelvin did a phenomenal job. I thought he was just really, really steady, really played with really good play style. I thought he was physical. When a mistake happened or someone kind of maybe one a down, he responded beautifully. And so he's done everything we've asked. We'll have a team meeting today, so we always go through every transaction, with the whole team. Anytime we sign someone, anytime someone leaves our program, communicate it. This is, arguably the most challenging one, or one of the more challenging ones we've had this offseason.
Yeah, I guess just like, I don't know if do you worry about it is the right phrase, but the fact that he had so much here.
Yeah, no, there's nothing easy about this one. It's a hard one for all of us.
There's a report about a workout with Brendan Rice. Is that something you can confirm or deny?
We had these Mondays you'll tend to have these different workouts. So we had a number of players in, and a couple other positions, and so it's always good making those guys do a good job of just continuing to evaluate different guys, and we're gonna need guys as the season goes on, and you got to navigate these rosters.
You mentioned before you didn't have any preconceived notions on Kendra Miller because of things that had happened in the past, but getting to work with him for the entire camp and everything like that, what stood out to you and what helped his role evolve to work?
I just thought he was a really consistent person, consistent player each and every day, and so I don't know whatever happened. He's done an excellent job. He ran the football really, really hard. I thought the things that showed up was his ability to catch the ball in the pass game. I thought he had some good examples of that, and then the protection was a big part, I thought, where he took a big growth step. Just as far as his ability and consistency in the protection game, that's a mentally straining position, when you're at running back, to be able to handle all those moving pieces. And so, he's done an awesome job. What's that? We'll vote on captains today, and we'll go through that process today. We don't have a defined set number. We'll see how all of it goes out.
Can you tell us a little bit about just what you've seen from Juwan Johnson over the course of this offseason?
Juwan's done a nice job. I think pass game stuff pops up, and I think what's coming alive more and more is his ability to handle the run game portion of this. And that's an important piece. We can't have him just be a pass game guy. We got to have him be a complete tight end. That's the expectation, and I thought he's done a really good job of, creating that.
Pretty excited about wearing the gold jerseys the first game. Is that something that you have?
Again, about Juwan Johnson. I mean, I don't know, man. I just, I didn't really like the re-signing of him. But I mean, he's not really he's not really your traditional tight end prototype. But I mean, I don't know. I just think that we could have used that money somewhere else. But is what it is.
Yeah, that was really just a collection of a lot of different conversations. Certainly, the leadership group, a lot of the leaders on this team. We kind of went through that process as far as talking about that in the off season, and this has been a goal for some guys, Cam specifically, for a while, and so thought they were all really excited about that opportunity.
Kelly, you once saw yourself as potentially coaching in college. Did that start to shift towards the NFL like when you were a player, or is it just kind of a matter of circumstance?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think circumstances certainly play a big role in that. I was fortunate to go right from playing to coaching in Dallas, and so that was a very fortunate transition. And so I know a lot of people. Certainly, my brother coached in college football, and there's a lot of good in that as well. And so it's just the path that kind of took.
That's it, man. That was it, man. That was Kellen Moore. That's I'm previewing the Arizona Cardinals. Saints play them on Sunday at noon local time, 1:00 Eastern, and I'll be, of course, live for that game. As I will for probably I'll try to do every Saints game I can. But sometimes. Yep, but man, so it's just when there wasn't really much to say there because you don't have a game to go fall back on and review and just and you really don't know what to expect this coming Sunday for the Saints. I mean, I think it's gonna be a tough year for the Saints. I don't think they're gonna win many games this year, but I hope I'm wrong on that. Hopefully they can go win 10 games and get to the playoffs. But I just think quarterback and offensive line is going to limit this team. And defensively, we're old. We've got a lot of old players defensively, especially the defensive line, linebackers. So Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, and he's getting up there in age. So, our secondary, I don't know. I guess we have to see how plays out on Sunday. But we'll see. But have a good one, and I'll talk to you later. Who dat?